Hey, Grandpa, media say Pabo.
Yeah, the same name. Catch them here.
John Mahama says so near. Can you go hospital? Yeah, you're free.
Hey, asem depe ni o baba. Bomimu.
San shishe yo DB. Can you go ni district hospital, clinical, polyclinical, in Krasi hospital kiti a portoka sinubro friend of Chase compound. So when you malaria, diabetes, ulcer, hypertension, just yari beer, Grandpa. And you just simply say, so what NHS and I need be Grandpa or a better free.
Sir.
Missing you here near chance the dear so you're gonna see no.
Baby, we try health insurance moana.
Oh, Debbie, Grandpa. Oh, Jim, free hospital. Beboa NHS no. I'm an edimu.
Hey, sir.
And Grandpa, I'm sick as you be pa come or see obe chafford so. At the abua omo yari womu sabo. And now who crying no musa musicanina de payarisa.
Oh, Yami Shrajo Mahama.
Tuma Mahama, ni NDC. Ama ejuma ni inkoswo aba ama yenina.
All right, so today is the 13th of November 2020, and we are riddled with a state of melancholy here because we've lost the first president in the Fourth Republic, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. We lost him yesterday at exactly 10:10 a.m. at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We are still not aware what took his life, and as and when we get to know officially, we will share the details with all of you here on Pan-African Television. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Welcome to the newspaper review segment on the show, where we try as much as possible to deal with all the issues that have found its way into the various newspapers we have in the country. You can join in the conversation because it's very conversational with your text messages and WhatsApp messages via our text and WhatsApp number, which is 0260846539. 0260846539. We're also streaming live on our Facebook portal, which is Pan-African Television. So you can log on to your Facebook page, just go to the search button and type in Pan-African Television. Once it pops up, like the page, and voila, you get to watch the live feed on your Facebook platform. So you can leave your comments beneath the video, the live stream, and I'll get the opportunity to also read them here for you. Now, I've been joined in the studios by Honorable ABA Fuseni, MP for Sagnarigo constituency. I was in this constituency, really big constituency, really, and I was not surprised though. But I mean, the show of love and support for him is unbelievable. We visited some of the villages within his constituency, and the outpour of love for him is really, 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 really amazing. And it left me no doubt at all that he's won the elections even before it's being conducted. Good morning to you, Honorable Ebi Fuseni, and I trust you're doing very well. Thank you for treating us very well when we were in Tamale. You know, you gave us some nice rice, local rice. It was nice with some.
The Gombes are known for their hospitality. So they'll give you everything except giving you their wife or husband.
You know, I mean, I enjoyed the Akonfem, the guinea fowl. I think those were the ones that
this one is the scorpion. The snake is coming. Okay. I'm sure by the grace of Allah, when we finish this election, there will be more time to celebrate.
Fantastic, thank you.
By the grace of Allah, when President Muhammad.
But what's the secret? I mean, you've been in power for how long? You've been in Parliament for how many?
Oh, this I'm going for my third term.
Oh, just third term.
Third term, yes.
And it feels like it's your first.
No, this is my third term.
I mean, I'm saying this because of the love. Yes. Because I was shocked. I was shocked.
When you
contrary to what I've been hearing and listening to people say, you know, particularly my MPP folks, I thought that, well, Kwame, we're going to struggle. But
I have said it time and again that it is not for nothing that the MPP has not won a single police station in my constituency since it was created in 2012. 2012, they didn't get one police station. 2016, they didn't get one police station. And this time, by the grace of Allah, it will be worse. Because they have been in power for 4 years and they can't show anything.
We'll get into the details of that, but welcome and thank you very much. Sabo is also doing some wonders up north, and I saw their kefe, as he likes to describe it, in Tamale.
You can choose to call it.
No, I'm only borrowing your description for such events, but it was massive. How are you able to pull that off?
Kwame, I think that's the right word to use. In the history of Tamale, we've never had such gathering. Not even, yes.
You have never had.
Not even our popular Damba festival. In fact, if you know Tamale very well, the multitude of people stretch from Tamale, what do you call it, Vodafone area, up to the Ababu, that's we used to call Tezako. Now I've forgotten the filling station. They barely listen. Up to that end, you could see sea of people. I was very much surprised at the turnout of people. But I heard from my what do you call it, opponents on social media that we buzzed people from various parts of the country. But unfortunately, in the era of technology, they could not actually bury what they've said or what they were paddling by way of actually getting out the photographs of the buses or when the people were actually coming out of the buses or wherever we were loading them. But they were just saying into air, thinking that today Ghanaians will believe their story. But Kwame, I've always said this. If your mother is dead and you keep on saying that she is sleeping, once she begins to decay, nobody will tell you the true story. The Dogombes have a proverb that he who has the time to wait need not to ask what is on fire. Let's wait up to December 7, and the people of Tamale themselves will tell their own story. Tamale Central. He is talking of Sanargu, that we have never even won a polling station. Kwame, today as we speak, I hope you've heard of that strong lady, Felicia Tete. You can see how democratic we are as people. When you are here, people feel that somebody like that energetic, brilliant, benevolent lady like what you call Felicia Tete can never rise up to that level. Kwame, I'm telling you, she's turning things around in Sanargo constituency.
I see.
And I will not be surprised if my brother will come here and be introduced as the formal member of parliament.
In Sanargo.
I'm telling you. Kwame,
I'll borrow your word.
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you just one question.
I'm listening.
When you went to Sanargo, who led you to the places that you said that that makes you say that Sanargo, the support is overwhelming for my brother?
Oh, her name is Rafa.
Rafa?
Yeah.
From where?
Rafa is no, she's a nursing student.
No.
No, you're asking me and I'm telling you.
Her political background.
Oh, you don't need a politician. You see if you got a politician to take you around, you only get political results. What I'm saying is that there was somebody who lives in that constituency who took me and tried to. So
if you have said that you were being led by an investigative journalist, then I will have actually bought into your story by a nursing officer.
I think what you wanted to hear from me was whether or not I was taken around by Honorable Ibi Hussein. Which was not the case.
In fact, he actually gave you that lady to take. Stop saying what? I know. Who was your host?
Oh, you see, Kwame.
Forget.
Kwame.
Tell your own story. Honorable Alhaji Baba Seidu was my host.
Kwame.
I went to Northeast. When I was coming back to Accra, I decided to spend some few days in Tamale because I wanted to get closer to the airport. So I stayed in Tamale for 2 days. Met with this very good friend of mine.
What part of Tamale were you staying?
Jisonai.
Jisonai.
Yeah.
Is it not in Sanargo?
Where is it?
It's part of his constituency.
So what does it mean?
Jisonai is part of his constituency. So he was the one who was. It's very clear. You are not independent.
The only time I saw him was in the evening when I was hungry and I said, "Oh no, but I'm in your constituency." He said, "Oh, and you didn't call me." That was when I called him. Anyway, but you want to make
if a butterfly thinks it is a bed, you should wait until the wind rises. It will find its level.
Thank you. Smoothness level.
This people they make plenty noise. You see, Kwame, go back and listen to 2016. They said that they had captured all the forces in Tamale.
Yeah.
They didn't campaign there.
I have no.
I said this time to be worse for them because in the 4 constituencies in Tamale, they've done nothing.
Listen,
practically nothing. There's no way to show.
Let me welcome Desmond into the studio.
Don't be humiliated more even than before.
Desmond, you're testing for
all that they go. Sorry, let me just make this point. All that they go around distributing money. And thinking that the money that they say they will distribute with the basis on which they will. People will chop the money well. Teach them.
These are some allegations that the money. That's
what they are doing.
Where the money distributed.
That's what you do. You are distributing money.
In which form?
There's nothing that you do.
In which form is?
I'm saying that go to Tamale now and ask them which development have they done in Tamale. Just ask them.
What is there?
What have you done?
You've been there for 3 months. What have you done?
Can I count? Can I start? Look, before I became member of parliament, 24,000 villages had no light. Okay. By 2 years into President Mama's government, all of them have been electrified. MPP has been power. Wait a minute. MPP has been power. I'm telling you, MPP has been power for 4 years. 1 electric pole they have implanted.
Let me count.
You know the funniest thing.
I'm telling you.
Today you have mentioned slang. He said, wait a minute.
Let me show him in the area of education, water, roads. What we have done in 4 years under President Mama. They have absolutely nothing to do. Look, Kwame, about 38,000 villages. Look, Kwame, the women used to walk far away to go and fetch water. Today, in the comfort of their home, they didn't pipe bomb water.
They are listening to you.
I can give you. I'm telling you.
They are listening to you.
I am saying it for
people in San Narugu.
Of them I am challenging people in South Africa. They should call into the program, and you'll be disgraced. You will see the multitude of them. Let me tell you. From if I start from Kuliyevla, Kuliyevla to Shiru to Garjao to Nangbayopra, Nangbayokura, you go to Bukomo, Chanaile, Sana. If I go to name the towns,
there's so many. Know where he's mentioning, so you really listen to what he's saying.
That if I go to Ngaran, Dushao, Demala, all those areas.
What is happening?
Like I'm saying,
what is happening there?
The development they have seen under President Mama and my good self. Kwame, so they say that look, before man and God, those people in the villages especially, they say that Honorable AB, as for you, until you say you are leaving this constituency, we are solely because we have seen what you and President Mama have done. So Kwame, I want you to mark it down, and I'm saying it here on record that Sandaru, in this election that we are going to get in the Sandaru constituency, President Mama will get not less. The least you get is about 85%. The least. There are people who are even MPP people who are saying that they have not seen anything under President Akufo-Addo, and that comparing it to what President Mama has done, they are going to even join and vote for it.
Okay, let's see if PNC has also done anything in Tamale. So you let me run away with one. No, I mean this is just my way. Let's work out Desmond.
The Tamale Center is starting. What have they done in Tamale Center?
Let's work out
anything.
Desmond,
badly beaten that they will not recognize themselves.
You don't worry.
Desmond, how are you?
Kwame, I'm doing.
It's a joke.
You are doing well.
Yes, I'm doing.
How is Akwapem North doing this morning?
I'm well by His grace.
Are you sure you can win that seat?
Why not, Kwame? The people of Akwapem North are.
Someone said you were defeated and beaten mercilessly in the elections.
It's a contest, and you know when you are going in for a contest, you just have to psych your mind that it's either you win or you lose. There's no draw in our political contest, and so for me coming out losing, I don't think that is anything to is a news.
No.
He also
had the experience of losing when I was advising him.
No. Listen to me. In 2012,
I'm your senior when it comes to losing. I lost before you lost.
So
and I was telling you the path to losing. You were on that path. Don't go there.
You not even allow me to greet.
No, it's not a face where I've been looking for you privately.
You've been looking for me, but you have my number. Why don't you call me? Why don't you call me?
The point is that you are contesting the Akwapem North.
That's right.
And we only can make you.
Nana Dokuya is going down.
She's going down.
She's going down.
Okay.
Because the people are rejecting her and they are going to vote for me. I know you will come to my constituency to help me out. But let me say a big thank you for giving me the opportunity this morning, and let me also apologize for being late. It is part of Sabu's construction that they are doing. When you are constructing a road and you don't even come out with a drainage system, when you wake up, you don't even know where to pass.
At least.
Full of traffic.
At least he's telling us that we are working.
No.
Which work?
Which
We
work?
are working.
Which work?
Okay.
Just
Thank
about
you.
a few months and you are telling me
That's
that you are
one.
working.
Good for the announcement. That's one. Thank you very much. Let's look at the issues here. Ethiopia claims big advance in Tigray. Suffering worsens. That's the African story we're going to be touching on.
Okay.
J.J. Rawlings dies at 73. The Inside newspaper reported this story on its front page. The story continues on page 3 of the Inside newspaper. Publishing names of persons removed from voter roll, EC rejects Mohammed's request. The Informer reported this one. Sacked PPA boss fights Shrad over shoddy report. The Informer reported this one as well. And so let's kickstart the conversation with the African story. Ethiopia's military has defeated local forces in the west of Tigray state, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said on Thursday, accusing his foes of atrocities during a week of fighting that threatens to destabilize the Horn of Africa. Airstrikes and ground combat have killed thousands since refugees flooding into Sudan stirred Ethiopia's ethnic divisions and raised questions over the credentials of Abiy, Africa's youngest leader, who won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2019. The western region of Tigray has been liberated, tweeted Abiy, 44, who comes from the largest ethnic group, the Oromo, and once fought with the Tigrayans against neighboring Eritrea. The army is now providing humanitarian assistance. With communications down and media barred, independent verification of the status of the conflict was impossible. The Tigray People's Liberation Front, which rules the mountainous northern state of more than 5 million people, announced a local state of emergency against what it termed an invasion by outsiders. Abiy accuses the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, of starting the conflict by attacking a federal military base and defying his authority, while the Tigrayans say his 2-year rule has persecuted them. The premier said some of his soldiers had been found dead in a town of Shararo, shot with their legs and arms tied behind their back. This kind of cruelty is heartbreaking, he said. He did not say how many bodies were found or provide proof. Reuters could not also verify his allegation, and there was no immediate response from TPLF, which has accused federal troops of being merciless in bombing Tigrayans. The BBC. Honorable Bifse, respectfully, I want to start with you on this one.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kwame, first and foremost, let me say a good morning to your good self, my brother Tabo. That is my brother, and then the good Burkina people of the South Naro constituency. Kwame, this is where also a very somber mood, because as we all know, a big tree has been uprooted. The demise of His Excellency President Jerry John Rawlings. What has happened is a national tragedy, for want of a better term. And I want to take this opportunity first and foremost. As Muslims, we all say that what has happened is the will of the Almighty Allah. Sure. And that is the will of Almighty Allah. But nevertheless, to express my deep-seated condolence to the immediate family, and especially to my colleague, Senator Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Owusu and the family. Kwame, this is a sad loss for the country. We all know, if we are going to speak, I'm sure maybe we'll speak to the issue of President Rawlings.
That's the second story.
Yes, he's a phenomenon, not just for this country, but I think for the West African and the African continent. The contributions that he has made especially when we are talking about our current democratic dispensation. It is his work that has kept us in place even to date as we speak. And so I want to express my personal condolence, and maybe also speaking for the minority, to send a condolence to the family. Kwame, the issue that you have spoken, since you said we would talk about President Rawlings, I would want to say that it's a tragedy that we are revisiting this particular conflict again under Abiy, because there was a lot of hope that a young man who had read and seen the last vestiges of the Mengistu regime in Ethiopia, where the Tigray Liberation Front on others was frontal. In fact, they bore one of the biggest brunt of the fight against the dead regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. And to see that after the so-called liberation from the tyranny of the dead, they have come up to this again. And today, allies who fought at this are now fighting one another. So, Kwame, I find it to be very, very regrettable that this thing is happening today with somebody who, especially because of his peace overtures, was awarded the
Nobel
Peace Prize
2019.
Exactly. Just that's last year.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I find it very regrettable that the citadel of the AU, that is the AU headquarters, is a subject matter of a very devastating conflict. So I've always said it that when the watchman himself needs security, the landlord is in trouble. The bastion of African unity, where we go to express and take actions to consolidate the gains of the continent itself, is in turmoil. So what will happen to the rest of Africa, especially in our bid to encourage Africans to to go to the negotiating table, negotiate their differences rather than resort to war? So if Ethiopia itself is resorting to war, the scene where they can galvanize Africans to come and look for peaceful resolutions of their problems is itself embarking on this thing. I think that is terrible, to say the least. And if you look at the calamity it is inflicting on the local people, a lot of them are running into Sudan to go and seek refuge under very horrific conditions. Already into the areas where they are running into in Sudan area, they themselves are impoverished. And so they are not in position to garner the requisite level of resources to be able to meet the refugee crisis. And so it imposes additional horrific consequences on the lives of the people, both in the Tigray region as well as in the areas where they are seeking refuge in Sudan. And I think that it is not good. I would expect the Ethiopian leader to explore further avenues of negotiating with their Tigray brother. My understanding is that there were supposed to have been elections, and the Tigray people, I'm sure the elections were postponed.
Yeah, because of the COVID.
Allegedly because of the COVID. Yeah. But the Tigray people, I mean, no, they enjoy a certain degree of autonomy, went ahead and conducted the elections. And that is the basis of the conflict with the Ethiopian central government. And I'm sure that this is something that they can get over. It's not something that should prosecute a very devastating war. And already we are hearing that even because of the warm relations between Ethiopia and Eritrea, Eritrean troops are getting sucked in. There are reports that Eritrean troops are crossing the border into Ethiopia to help the Ethiopian government. That's the allegation the Tigrayans have made. And that one has a potential of widening the conflict. Because if external parties begin to get involved, you never know who wants to come to the support of the Tigrayans. And before you realize, I think it is ballooning out of proportions and cannot be managed. I think that Prime Minister Abiy should take a second look at the issue and endeavor to get involved in negotiations. For me, again, it is a failure of the AU again. The AU must not allow things to escalate beyond a point where it is not possible to bring the belligerent party or warring factions to the negotiating table. I think that every day the conflict rages on is it makes it almost impossible, more difficult, if not impossible, to bring the warring factions back to the negotiating table to discuss and find an amicable solution to the problem. And I've always said it, Kwame, I've always said it, that Africa, being the richest continent, harboring the poorest people, is a paradox. And resolving that paradox requires that we should go back to the vision of Kwame, the man behind you, the legendary Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who said that the panacea to Africa's woes is a monolithic African unity. Not until all the tiny countries, Ethiopia has been balkanized now, and all the other countries in Africa, we have seen divisions rather than coalescence. So the answer is for the small countries in Africa, content with their individual sovereignties, are made to shelve this sovereignty and work for a continental unity. That is the only hope where we can act as one united force. Like the United States of America, there were 13 colonies. They coalesced, and look at what the US is today. So it always tells that there's strength in unity. And so if Africans don't unite and continue to live in their balkanized small states, Kwame, we'll get consumed. And I am very passionate about legendary Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's call for Africa to unite, for Africans to come together, build a monolithic unity, and then in our unity lies our strength. Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ebi Fuseni. If you just joined us, you're watching the News Review segment here on Pan-African Television. Let me remind you again that the WhatsApp number is 0260846539. Let's hear from you now, Sabo, on this Eritrean issue, please.
Kwame, let me take this opportunity to say good morning to our cherished viewers and then good morning to the good people of Tamale, especially Tamale Central, where I have been for the past 1 week to 2 weeks. A very warm greetings to the incoming Member of Parliament of Tamale Central. Let me start addressing him as Honorable.
There's no incoming.
Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Anyas. Inshallah, come 7th December, we need not to tell the story of the people of Tamale.
Allah forbid.
They will tell it by themselves. Kwame, let me also say good morning to the New York of Ghana, Owusu East, and His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Osagyefo Osiadio, Nana Adodonko Akufo-Addo, and his able Vice President, the Wizard of Economy, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let me just give the opposition leader to good morning, the Ghanaian opposition leader, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And good morning to my elder brother, Alhaji A.B.A. Fuseni, Honorable Alhaji A.B.A. Fuseni, and my younger brother, Desmond, who is now an aspirant.
Is he not going to be the incoming as well?
He himself, he knows the fight he's fighting is not. He himself, he knows. He knows. At least there's no harm in trying.
Just say incoming.
Incoming where?
Member of Parliament for Akwapim.
When you are already outgone.
Akwapim North.
You can imagine Akwapim North. Hey, it's not going to be easy. Anyway, I wish you well.
Thank you.
Kwame, I have actually not followed this story much. I was busily campaigning in Tamale Central. But being an African and having the African blood running through me, what I would like to look at is the replication, or better, so for lack of better words, maybe the pervasion of this conflict in other African countries. We need to look at it very carefully. I know they share boundary with Sudan largely, fact, the northwest, up to even getting the southwest of Ethiopia is covered by Sudan, very vast area. And if you look at the northern part of it, getting to the eastern part to Eritrea, a very thin stretch at the top there. Then when you come to the southern part of Ethiopia, Kenya is also there. Kwame, and you agree with me, these countries that I have mentioned, apart from Eritrea, which in the recent part has not all that been much influential in the on the African continent, Sudan, especially Kenya, is one area that we need to look at. In fact, Kenya is battling with its issues with what they call issues coming from Sudan. Yes, Al-Shabaab, thank you very much. And Ethiopia also popularly known with this kind of this they are those who hijacking on sea. How do they even call them, Crown? I've forgotten of the you know there are these hijackers on sea. There's a word. It's escaping all of us. Thank you. They also been battling with that, and I know they also been having problem with Eritrea. And like my brother rightly said, pirates. Thank you very much, pirates. And like my brother rightly said, I've also heard that the Eritrean people are supporting the government himself, which is also something that EU should look at very well. If the opposition has already started pointing accusing fingers at Eritrea with this. And Kwame, what I've also realized, I think Eritrea was formerly, if you look at it
was part of Ethiopia.
Exactly. Because if you look at the people, I mean, they look alike. They are almost the same people and the rest. So I strongly believe that with this conflict, maybe AU need to come in and then see how best, at least for now, it should be contained within Ethiopia and how best they can even just resolve the issue. They should try to protect these areas. And of course, like my brother is saying, if people are running from Ethiopia to Sudan, then you can imagine the kind of difficulties that they are facing. Because it's going to say, Sudan itself is having a lot of issues that they are battling with as we speak today. And people are leaving Ethiopia, which is perceived to be somehow normal than even Sudan. And they are now moving into Sudan. Then this will tell you that maybe from where we sit, we are only, like the Gombes will say, that somebody's soul is only reddish, but it's not painful. So we are only listening to the story, but we don't actually feel the pain that they are going through. But this story, they moving from Ethiopia to Sudan, will actually give you an idea of the situation there. So I think we are pleading to our leaders, especially AU, to move in quickly to save the situation for our brothers and sisters in Ethiopia. Kwame, this is what I can say for now. I don't know much about the story.
Right, that's okay. Desmond,
yes,
please.
Also say very good morning to yourself and to your viewers, and to my senior brother Sabu, who is going to join me in my constituency very soon, and our elder honorable A.B. Husseini. And also a very good morning to the chiefs and people of Ekrapim North, especially my chief, Nana Sasasarku, who over the weekend blessed me that I can go ahead, go all out, and make sure that victory comes to Ekrapim North. Kwame, this morning, in fact, I wish we could devote the whole time for our big papa. But like you said, we'll come to that issue in our next submission. So I just came back from the constituency this dawn, and I had to rush to the studio. So myself, I'm not all that preview to the Eritrea issues. But the little that I can say is that some of these things, when it happens, I ask myself whether African leaders or current African leaders are up to the task, because they go for meetings, they call themselves AU, African Union, and at the end of the day, things of this nature comes up, and you don't hear anything from them. And so, for me, I blame the crop of leaders we have in Africa now, because it looks like most of them, like we say, and so when issues like this come up, they don't want to even call for a meeting to address it and condemn it. We sit here, we talk about it, at the end of the day, what happens? And so for me, I think that we need to condemn it, and then also we need to ensure that our leaders are up to the task. And when some of these things come, they should quickly call for a meeting, address issues, and let the whole world know that indeed we are Africa and we believe in Africa and we are united. I think that I don't want to say much about it because I'm a bit down this morning, but I know as time goes on, I'll come up because I've seen my brother here, Sabu, it's been a while, and I know today we'll go at smooth levels.
Thank you very much, Desmond. 0260846539 is the WhatsApp number, so you can share with us what your thoughts are. Let's now come back home and deal with some domestic issues here, but one that is burning us all up and has thrown us into a state of melancholy has to do with the demise of the first president of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency J.J. Rawlings, who died at age 73 at Kolebu Teaching Hospital yesterday at exactly 10:10 a.m. Almost everybody was in a state of disbelief. We all did not believe that what we were hearing was actually true. But it turned out that that was the truth and that the man had passed on. And what was left for us to do was to commiserate with the good people of Ghana, ourselves, and the family of the late former president, and to pray for his soul, and to join, as ABF Husseini rightly intimated, our Muslim brothers in saying that may Allah grant him peace and find him space in his bosom. We are going to be looking at the man, J.J. Rawlings, now, and what he stood for. The very fundamental principles for which reason he led several coups d'etats and subsequently transmogrified his operations to a democratic rule. Principles of probity, accountability, social justice, equality, whatnot, are some of the things, the basic tenets of his administration. And we're going to be looking at all of that and the man, Jerry John Rawlings, and what he stood for, whether or not he was able to live up to those expectations. He was loved by many and hated by many as well, for obvious reasons. But generally, I think that he will go down in the history of this nation as the person who superintended over the transitioning from a military rule to a democratic rule. And so we will grant him that, and also to say that he really did his best for Mother Ghana. Who else than Honorable ABF Husseini to start this conversation for us? I am sure, because he was a journalist at the time and he perhaps is seized with a lot of information and will be able to share them with us, even from that perspective, as opposed to just being a political figure within his party. But I think that we can, stay behind the cloak and try to see who the man was, what he stood for, whether or not he was able to live up to those expectations, and your general fond memories of him. And, you being in his political party, what lessons can we draw from what he stood for, and how do we use those principles to, jealously guard the democratic experiment that we're engaged in at this material moment. So, Honorable ABF Husseini, I'm giving you all the time that you need. Please.
Yeah. Kwame, let me say thank you again. And to say that, first and foremost, may the Almighty again accept him in his bosom and give him eternal rest. As Muslims, when somebody leaves this earth, we have nothing more to give to the person than prayers. And so I think the Islamic fraternity would offer the requisite level of prayers. I know the chief imam, for instance, was somebody who was very close to him. And I'm sure that Muslims would accord him the requisite level of prayers so that Almighty Allah will bestow his mercy. Kwame, the mercy is important because no human being created by Allah Almighty has ever been perfect. No human being on the surface of the earth. So in Dagbani, we say that no human being is up to 10. No matter how they count you and rate you, you can't reach 10. 10 being the ultimate figure of perfection. So Kwame, yes. But I think that all in all, I can say President Rawlings has paid his dues. He has done his duty to this country. He has served this country well. And Kwame has a lasting legacy. The fact that today we are in a constitutional, democratic era, it's a huge tribute to President Rawlings. Kwame, as a young man, I think I was then in sixth from upper six when the revolution of 1979 broke out. In fact, the first one was May 15th, where President Rawlings advertised himself for the first time for people to know him on that scene, at that level, at that political level, where the country had reached a crisis, where the moral decadence, the economic decline, the political malaise, and the dictatorship and others that had been gripped by the Akufu-led SMC too had reached a crescendo. And Kwame, that was the first taste of somebody who stood not just for the truth, but the altruism, that you were even prepared to sacrifice your life. Kwame, I just give a small example. If it is not common for people who go to do things together, when you are caught, and the penalty is death, for one person to say, look, leave all the rest, I am responsible, put everything on me, the rest can go scot-free. Kwame, the first thing, preservation of life is a human instinct. Absolutely. You want to talk and exonerate yourself, but he said that, look, leave all the rest and take it on me. If I have to even sacrifice the most precious thing I have, my life, I'm prepared to sacrifice it for the cause that I've adopted. So leave all the rest and take it on me. That was President Rawlings on May 15th, when he first started the uprising to help cleanse this country. So Kwame, it shows the altruistic nature. Somebody who looked beyond just his personal life and did things. And Kwame, after that one, June 4th and others, see the humility. Never in the annals of our country's history have you seen, Kwame, can you perceive a head of state, president in a gutter? A head of state carrying cocoa sacks in the evacuation of cocoa and other things from the hinterland at that time. Doing work, going to the railways, working with the railway workers, doing, Kwame, real physical manual work, example of hard work, identifying with the masses on the ground. Kwame, ensuring that when the economic doldrums, we got down to the doldrums. Yes, there were some ideological positions at that time when the country was oriented by Marxist-Leninist principles and others, and were drifting left. But Kwame, you have to find a way, central ideology to bring the country back. And that was when he instituted the economic recovery program, you can remember, from 1983, and brought the likes of Professor Kwesi and others to start the economic recovery of this country, which eventually gave us the economic mileage. And after years under the PNDC, when the country was stabilized economically, Kwame, we had to come back to the democratic dispensation, where in crafting a constitution for the first time in the history of our country, Kwame, constitutions were seen as the preserve of a small elite. You just gather a small elite to go and write the constitution for us. But for the first time, Kwame, butchers, palm tappers, barkeepers, whatever, farmers, fishermen, artisans were brought together with lawyers and all the other big people to come and craft a constitution for this country. Kwame, the underlying principle was to make sure that that constitution which is crafted takes adequate care of the interests and aspirations of the people down there, and not just that of the elite. So Kwame, it is no wonder today that constitution which was boycotted by the elite of the UP tradition, particularly those in the MPP today, they boycotted even constitution of this republic, the crafting of a constitution. Kwame, that is the constitution that has kept all of us alive. From 1992 to date, this is the constitution that has survived the longest period in the history of our country. Kwame, that is the vision and handwork of President Rawlings. That was crafted to ensure that every segment of this society was catered for. This is the vision of having to take along an entirety of your people. And so if the 1992 constitution is a surviving document today, it's still the basis upon which our democracy is anchored and propelled. Kwame, you can only give the greater part of the credit. I'm not saying the sole credit. The greater part of the credit to President Rawlings, who helped craft this. And not only that, but he led the country as the first president of the Fourth Republic and anchored our democracy. Kwame, contributed to the further economic growth of the country and to the betterment of the lives of our people. So Kwame, if you are going to talk in our domestic scene, there's so much that he achieved. I'll not be the first to run away from the fact that yes, there were some areas where he fell short, like a human being. But I'm saying that the overall listen was that he's contributed massively to the socio-economic and socio-political development of this country. Kwame, his achievements were not limited just to the domain of the country, Ghana. Look beyond into Africa and the international community, the world. Kwame, we just finished discussing a conflict in Ethiopia. You can no doubt recall that we had a more than disproportionate share of conflicts in the West African sub-region. The principal of which was Liberia. Today, I'm sure people, because it has been sorted out, we forget what the Liberian people went through. Very atrocious and horrible conflict. And in the face when other African leaders were not concerned about what was happening in Liberia, Ghana took it upon themselves under President Rawlings to endeavor to take up the Liberian problem. And under the aegis of ECOMOG, I'm sure people, sometimes when you say ECOMOG today, people will think it's a wild animal. That's the West African, that's the ECOWAS military observer group in Liberia. That was Ghana was at the forefront of forging and sending troops and equipment into Liberia. And Kwame, that was what helped save millions of lives in Liberia. But for the intervention of ECOMOG, there will have been monumental bloodbath in Liberia, whose comparison, Massa, cannot be made. And that was what saved human lives, helped to stabilize Liberia and bring Liberia back to democracy. And today Liberia is enjoying even a change of government from Johnson Sirleaf to President Weah. And today democracy is blossoming in Liberia. And that is why I'm saying that is the African project. The African project of getting Africans to solve African problems. There were many who were waiting for the EU or the United States or the European Union, United States, or even the UN to come solve that problem. But with the lead of President Rawlings, ECOWAS took that frontal role in Liberia and managed to stabilize the system and get Liberia on an even democratic keel, which today has contributed to enhancing the well-being of the Liberian people. So Kwame, it didn't end just in Ghana. Internationally and others, President Rawlings led his colleague African leaders to champion peace and promote the development of the sub-region. In our sub-region, we have been very frontal in ensuring that the ECOWAS that we forged from 1975, when we enunciated the principles of economic sub-regional integration, you know, it has not been given Philip so much, but it was President Rawlings who pushed through the enunciation of more protocols, through the practical implementation of the various protocols that the ECOWAS had enunciated, to open up so that the boundaries of free movement of people, goods and services across the West African sub-region is enhanced. Because, like Kwame Nkrumah before him, he realized that the economic salvation of the continent lay in the monolithic unity of the African people. African continent, the richest, African people, the poorest. The answer is how to control our resources. And so it was an area President Rawlings also devoted a lot of his life and attention. So, Kwame, I'm saying that there's so much to talk about this phenomenon. It's a whole phenomenon that this country has lost a patriot, Kwame, who sacrificed his life. Today, people have been in power for, Kwame, just a few years. Go and see the opulent lifestyles they are living. Vulgar opulence. The monies they have made in just some few years. Okay? This is a man who has demonstrated that high level of selflessness. Kwame, that you will see that is motivated by the interests and aspirations of the masses. It's working in the supreme interest of the mass of the people, and not in politics to amass wealth or to champion the interests of some friends, colleagues, and narrow coterie of people, but to work for the supreme benefit of the country. Kwame, at a time when he won the global hunger, I'm sure you can remember, when they gave him over $500,000. Kwame, this is money that was meant for him. It was his money. But what did President Rawlings do? He put that money into the establishment of the University for Development Studies in the North. Kwame, look at the monumental level of patriotism. Money that was meant for him to spend. Nobody had any right to ask him how he spent that money. It was his. But Kwame, he put it into the building and establishment of a university. Today, the University of Development Studies, University for Development Studies, has trained doctors, a variety of specialists in different spheres of human endeavor, and they are rendering qualitative service across the length and breadth of this country to improve the living conditions of Ghanaians. Kwame, what can be more beneficial than this? Kwame, if you look at the northern part of this country, before President Rawlings' intervention, the northern sector of the country was not hooked to the national grid. Indeed, Kwame, when President Rawlings even asked that, how come that the north has been left out without any decision? And I've been hearing MPP people make allegations that make some very uninformed pronouncements to the effect that under NDC, no social intervention has been done. They should go and find out. The biggest social intervention has been the connection of the northern part of this country to the national grid. And with it has come, I can't say, opened up the vestiges of development across the length and breadth of the north. Kwame, at the time President Rawlings wanted this thing to go, the technical experts said it was not possible, that it was not technically feasible. And when he indicated that it was technically feasible, they said it was financially prohibitive. So you see, they kept on shifting the goalposts, and he said it must be done. This was a man of conviction, that he was convinced that you cannot leave this national asset in the southern half, and the entire north will be left. That cannot spur development and growth. That cannot contribute to a qualitative lifestyle for the people of the north. And so he persisted, Kwame, and it went. In the end, today we are all living witnesses to what has happened to this northern part of the country, where this important resource, which hitherto was exclusively the preserve of those in the south, those of you in the south, is gone there. That is the vision, commitment, and actual achievement of His Excellency President Rawlings. So, Kwame, there have been many other things under his watch. I can't talk about the general level of infrastructure improvement. Talk about roads, sports, harbors, health posts, hospitals. Kwame, I can't count those ones that under his watch he has done for the good people of this country. But more importantly, Kwame, the principles of transparency, probity, and accountability in our national life. The need for us to be informed that whoever you are, Kwame, whoever you are, and the people entrust authority to you, you are not a monarch. You must be a humble servant of the people. You don't gloat with your shoulders high, walking, you are the president, or you are the distant, that people must see you as a demigod. You will see President Rawlings with that humility of service. I just told you that you can see a president holding a shovel and going to work with workers. The humility of service to the people. The issue of being accountable, being transparent, being accountable to the people who elected you. That when the people are asking you to account, you don't get angry and say they are naysayers. As people, we have a duty to ask those who have given power questions about how the mandate is being run. And so when you are being asked to account for that decision, you don't call that person a naysayer. You answer the questions. So Kwame, that is the example President Rawlings left for this country.
Much as we are not condemning his person, his reign, 19 years.
Yes.
Was it worth our while? Did he do something that could have, or that transformed?
Kwame, I just give you even a number of them,
because there are people who because the economic recovery program that you're referring to led to the loss of jobs. About 300,000 people lost their jobs.
Economic recovery program that created opportunities for more jobs to be created.
Lost their jobs in that process.
Kwame, economic recovery program. The economy had sunk. I'm sure after 1983, you could see. Even that was after the years of hunger
and things like that.
Yes,
that was also done in Nigeria.
Those years,
and recently there was even a Nigerian member of parliament, who was making the point that the biggest mistake of their political life was when they subscribed to the the structural adjustment program, because that is what led to the depreciation of their naira. Yes, and that can be said for Ghana too. That people lost their jobs because of that. Kwame, yes, we are talking about the man as a person.
Kwame, when you're going to talk about jobs,
yes, sir,
you should do a net. At any point in time, jobs are lost. Even as we speak now, there are colossal loss of jobs as we talk. What you need to do is to do a qualitative analysis of jobs that have been created versus jobs that are lost. So that
300,000 jobs,
the aggregate of what you have created and what you have lost will give you whether you have gained in jobs or not.
But superintending over the collapse of state, infrastructures in this country is something that we cannot.
Kwame, who was superintendent? I'm just indicating to you that at the time the economic recovery program was launched, Ghana was in the doldrums. Okay, I just gave you even what led to the hunger. I'm sure 1983.
No, the hunger, I remember that.
Yeah, Kwame.
My dad told me.
See, so you don't remember, you were told.
I was told.
That even when there were situations where people were boiling keke and people would stand there and be waiting for it.
No, because I was a baby.
The era of essential commodities where even sugar, Kwame, sugar, soap, those were tagged essential commodities before the launch of the economic recovery program. So to go and get sugar, you have to go and queue and get sugar. You have to queue to get soap. Okay? So I'm saying that, no doubt about it, I will be the last person to deny that such an adjustment program don't have their downsides. They do. They do. Clearly. But I'm saying that I was weighing it from the net. What it was able to achieve versus the downside. So let us be very fair in making sure that in as much as it had its downside, it has its positive sides. So let's measure both, and on the basis of that, we strike a net. And I'm saying that those who lived in those times will tell you that after the economic recovery program, things improved.
But what would you say to people who said that his 19-year rule was characterized by vindictiveness, was characterized by his inability to properly expand the economy, because he had the latitude of time to build this nation,
Kwame,
which he failed to do.
And look at economy.
He sold state companies to his families, to his friends, to his cronies. That even state lands were bought at 1 Ghana cedi.
Kwame, some of these,
under his rule.
Some of these are just.
Are they not true?
Some of these are just street talk. Yes,
but you admitted that every human being has.
I said some. That's why I didn't say all. I said some. But I'm indicating.
But who sold this cannery?
Kwame. I'm just indicating to you that there was a divestiture program that went on. Some of those things, state enterprises and others, were divested. Okay?
To who?
If you ask me,
personally, not as a politician,
personally,
as a journalist,
even as a politician and a journalist and whatever, I believe in the principle that the state has a very big role to play in creating jobs and doing things for the people over whom it has jurisdiction. I am for that.
Around what time did we have this?
But I say that
was it around the economic recovery program period?
Yeah, during that period.
So that's why I'm saying that we lost about 7,000 jobs as a result.
Kwame, that's what
I'm saying.
So I'm saying that to do a very fair analysis, you ought to quantify that. And also quantify jobs that were created. For instance, we think that no job was created.
Which jobs were created?
During the economic recovery program.
Which jobs were created?
Enterprises enterprises came. The private enterprises grew in this country. Go there and do a qualitative analysis of what happened.
Which ones? What supposed to
if they are private jobs, I should sit down and mention private jobs here.
No, but I'm able to tell you the state job companies that were closed, or that were, you said, were divested.
Yes,
I'm able to tell you that. So you should tell me which companies were giving birth to when we were collapsing those state institutions. That's
that I just indicated to the economic recovery program.
Yes,
was to ensure that, especially the private sector, was revamped. Okay, Kwame, I can give you many construction companies during the PNDC era which created jobs for Ghanaians.
But these but construction jobs are not permanent jobs. Today we are talking about.
Why are you saying that?
Are they permanent jobs?
Yeah. Why not?
How are they permanent jobs?
Contractors who employ people.
Contract. You employ people.
Right. If a contractor employs people, are they not?
But in some country, was a permanent job that was employing thousands of Ghanaians in this country. We collapsed.
Do you know that it collapsed even before? It had already been run down.
Absolutely. You have 19 years. So I'm resuscitating.
So I'm just giving you that example. I'm giving you the example that there were some jobs that were created as a result of the intervention of the economic recovery program in 1983, especially in the private sector. And I just gave you, for instance, construction. Construction boomed. Look, many of the roads that we are talking about, the Kumasi roads at that time that were made, were done all during the PNDC era. Go and find out. Okay? The construction road from Owusu all the way to Kumasi and the Kumasi town roads, all were done under the PNDC. Just like some other roads. I can't name all of them to you, but I can tell you, even Obuasi, Nyasi, look, and Kwame, more importantly, all the important housing, this you can talk about the Adenta Smith, Sakumono, Danso, all those other things that you can talk about as housing estates that were done under the PNDC. Are you telling me that the jobs that were created, the construction firms that went to employ people to go and do these jobs, they were not just
sustainable jobs?
Kwame.
They went all the way for a social.
You are saying you are talking about 11 years for that period when this construction was going on. Okay.
So after that, so what was he being myopic? That okay, we'll just use 11 years to build these things. After that,
not 11 years, but if you continue,
19 years. Yes, so I'm doing only has 6 years.
So I'm indicating to you
6 years.
Yes.
Or something that Kwame Nkrumah had 6 years.
Yes.
Look at the things he did.
Yes.
Somebody had 19 good years.
Yes, Kwame.
Collapse is very. I tell you, I'm not talking about
Kwame.
Fine, what he stood for. I like the man. I like him.
Kwame.
I like him personally.
Kwame.
But I'm saying that let's talk about it.
If we just look at jobs that collapsed, without looking at jobs that were created, we are not being fair.
But jobs that were created can never surpass the jobs that were created.
How many jobs were collapsed?
300,000 after all.
You are just giving a figure. What is the basis? If I tell you 800,000 jobs were created,
300,000 people lost
their jobs.
800,000 jobs were created.
300,000 people lost their jobs. Let's go with
800,000 jobs were created.
In which sectors?
Construction, agriculture, industry. What
were they sustainable jobs? So now why is it
you are now coming to tell me what jobs were sustainable? How do you measure that? And that's why I'm indicating to you that, for instance, in the area of construction, they work for the entire period. The housing agencies were created.
Oh no, but when you were in the university, jobs were waiting for you. Okay, well actually I know your story. Jobs were waiting for you. I know your story.
Yes.
But we are told of a story where people, when they were in university at the time, had jobs waiting for them.
Yes.
So it means that people had jobs to do because when they were in
what was the proportion? What was the proportion?
Absolutely. So he had 19 years.
Yeah, I'm just
the exigencies.
What was the population of the country at the time that you are talking about?
What was the population of Ghana at the time when President?
The population had grown far, maybe even doubled. What it was at the time that you are talking about.
The more reason why he had the benefit of 19 years to be
yes, but and that's why I just indicated in the 19 years positive developments were chalked up in various spheres of endeavor. Various. I just gave reports, harbors, roads, schools, universities. I just told you under his watch. He created a university. I just told you that this is extending power from the southern sector to the northern sector. Do you know what it takes? Do you know what it takes to extend power? At that time, people said that it was even impossible. He extended power from the national grid to the northern sector.
I'll credit him with rural electrification. I'll credit him with that.
No.
Even on.
Do you know what it takes?
I'll credit him with rural electrification.
I am just asking you. Do you know what that takes?
But why? What did Nkrumah not do in 6 years? I'm comparing 6 years. You see, we are comparing heads of.
So what you are doing?
I'm saying we are comparing 6 years of somebody to somebody's 19 years.
If you were to ask me, Kwame Nkrumah stands in his own class, but I'm saying that notwithstanding that, there was contribution under the PNDC and others that I'm not saying that it matched what Kwame Nkrumah did, but I'm saying that it was also very significant in the annals of our country's history. The positive contribution that was made in various spheres of the various sectors of the economy, from ports and harbors to real estate to agriculture to industry. Positive results were chalked up. That's what I'm saying, that maybe we may need an opportunity for me to go and compare these figures. And I'll give it to you. And I can tell you that after the launch of the economic recovery program, notwithstanding whatever you called as job losses, there was a net plus positive after the launch of the economic recovery program. There was that, and Ghana's economic fortunes were better under.
Is it not what devalued your city?
Kwame,
that program devalued your city.
Kwame, today, what is happening to the city?
What is happening to it? It's worse.
Yes, so I'm just indicating to you
that. I'm just indicating over the devaluation of the city.
Devaluation since 1965, 64, 65, the currency started coming down. So devaluation is not a product of the PNDC or Rawlings. It's not fair. Devaluation is something that started in the 60s. So if you are going to assail somebody with devaluation, then let's go and begin from the beginning. So it has always been. The magnitude you can discuss and you can differ, but it has always been a phenomenon.
He's superintendent over the sale of state institutions.
Yes, that's why I'm indicating you. State institutions. When did they start? Immediately after the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. The people who call themselves liberators and so-called liberators who came to liberate Ghana, when they came, they liberated all the state resources and sold it to their partners. Go there and find out. The so-called national They liberated state resources and liberated and sold it to their friends and families. Okay, go and find out. So Kwame, that is why I told you that I will be the first person, or I will be the last person to say that there were not downsides and others in the 90 years that he served as president of British.
Because some of us are still upset that Kwesi sold state properties. Sold it. We are saying that they are using English words to confuse us.
Yes, Kwame,
sold it.
You can say that.
Rendered people
divesting is to sell.
Rendered people jobless.
Yes,
300,000 people.
Kwame, I'm just indicating.
People died as a result of that.
Kwame, I'll be the last. I have indicated to you. Looking at the downsides. Are you honestly telling me, Kwame, that in the years that Kwesi functions as head of the economic management team,
it was a disaster.
He didn't do anything positive. He didn't do anything positive.
It was a disaster.
Kwame, I just indicated to you before the economy. We were queuing to buy soap. We were queuing to buy sugar. Maybe we were too young to understand what was happening.
Who created the problem? Who created the mess?
Go back to the NLC, the so-called liberators. After Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow, we needed special import licenses even at that time to import goods because there were shortages in the country.
You see, Honorable, I greatly appreciate the submission that you're making. It makes a lot of sense to me. Don't you think that because I'm asking questions?
Yes, no, I'm okay.
Agree with you.
I'm okay with that.
The point is also
I'm just saying that you must have a
I am talking about you see. I am a young guy.
You might have a historical imposing those questions.
History.
You are doing the debate of the history.
History informs the present.
Yes.
And I'm saying that on the basis of the same history that's supposed to inform the present, somebody had 90.
Yeah. You see, all of a sudden you are talking. Yes, Kwame. You are talking. You are talking devoid of history. That's why I told you when you started and you created the impression that diversity just started and the PNDC. It's false.
But who sold?
I just indicated to you as soon as the coup was, people liberated state resources.
But at the time,
and sold it to their.
But you were bequeathed with how many industries? You were bequeathed with how many? And when you pay how many?
The greatest bequeathed industry that were bequeathed to those who staged the coup in 1966. When that time the state controlled virtually every enterprise. By the time it came to the PNDC, they had whittled down
to how many?
Whittled down substantially.
So you also decided to sell?
No, I'm just indicating. I'm just indicating to you, Kwame. I'm just indicating to you.
Yes, sir.
So for you to make that argument, I think that you must place it in the proper context. Don't create an impression that they just came and all state enterprises that were so plenty started big with them.
At the time you sold those you divested.
How many?
They were still in operation.
Yes, and
its own country was still in operation.
I'm just indicating to you.
That's the one that I remember now.
Yes, so I'm saying that let us do a qualitative research so that we can have a better idea of what was there, what was not there.
Who was its own country sold to?
I can sit here and know who and who.
You are a journalist at the time, you know.
I'm just indicating to you that Kwame, the all in all of it is that the general analysts will agree that the economic recovery could contribute significantly to reviving the economic fortunes of the country. No matter what, you may be an avowed opponent of structural adjustment programs, but that program contributed to revamping the economy.
Okay, I'll come to
in revamping the economy, it created jobs.
I'm coming to some.
That's why I told you that
I want you to respond to this.
The net jobs that were created were more than the jobs that were lost.
I'm coming to something shortly, but I want you to respond to this first. This one is from allegedly from one of the late General Echampon's children. Former President J.J. Rawlings is dead, said my visitor. I said it's fake news. What's the source? I asked. Graphic Online, he said. Then it must be true. How? Was he sick? We hadn't heard that he was sick. I checked my phone, loads of posts confirming that yes, indeed, he was dead. When he was alive, people often asked me how I felt about him. My response, nothing. And it's true. Because if I had spent my life hating him for having killed my father, what a wasted life that would have been. Now he's dead, and somehow I feel robbed, cheated, because unlike my father, Rawlings' death was too easy, too comfortable probably. Death by firing squad. That's how my father died. When I was just 6 years old. At the time, I didn't understand. But as I grew up, it started to become clearer. I had no one to call father. Now I think his children and I are the same fatherless. But at least they grew up knowing their father. They grew up being provided for and protected by their father. So no, we are not the same. Rawlings took my father away from me by firing squad, leaving me with no father to provide for me or protect me. Rawlings is dead, and I feel cheated. If there is an afterlife where you meet those who have gone before, I wonder what Rawlings will say to my father, who showed him kindness, and all the other things, and all the others he killed so ruthlessly. In this life, Rawlings never acknowledged the pain he caused so many of us, never said sorry for our loss, or showed remorse, nothing. So Rawlings is dead. To me, his death was too easy, too comfortable, unlike the death he gave my father and countless others. Aside from this, I feel nothing about the man, except pity for his children who now know the pain of losing a father. Thank you to all those reaching out to me at this moment. Nana Sewa Champon. That's what's your reaction to this?
Okay, should I react to this?
Yes.
Why?
I want you to.
I can only say that I feel a sense of sorrow for anybody who felt hurt. We against whom certain things have been done that rob them of what the life of orderly growth and others and their family. I feel sorry. But Kwame, in the process of nation building, many of these things happen.
Casualties may happen.
Many of these things happen. Sorry to say that, but many of these things happen. And I'm sure if you were a matured person, you were grown up at the time of the 1979 revolution. Kwame, if you heard the streets, there was a common word that was ramming. Say it for me.
Blood flow.
It means what?
It means kill more.
You see? And how many people were killed? Sorry to say that. That's why I'm saying that for me, things like this are sorrowful as they are. They rake up things of the past that this nation needs to move forward on. And so I feel sorry for those who underwent such unpleasant experiences. So Kwame, let me just leave my destiny here. And indicate that Rawlings was a mortal. In the process of steering the affairs of the state, he did good things, he did things that were not good. And Kwame, take it on any day. Even today, we should have become wiser and not even do things. Even today, as we are ruling those ruling this country. Can't you see there are more horrible things than even ever before? Horrible things.
Like what?
Kwame, you are not living in this country.
I am, but I want
you don't know horrible things.
Which horrendous things you are referring to? I want to know. I mean, I may not be seized with all of that.
That you just go as a journalist to do your work, you don't come back home.
That one.
No, I'm just giving you examples.
Okay. All right.
Okay? An MP can be in his house, he will lose his life.
An MP can be going for campaign.
And then you lose his life.
I see.
I'm just indicating to you that even as you are doing governance, some of these things happen. Okay? But I'm just saying that it is important for us to take stock as a nation and right some of those wrongs. Those wrongs that have been done every year. Kwame, every other year, you should be learning and doing this properly. You should be a better person. So that from regime to regime, we should not repeat mistakes that were made in the past. Mistakes Kwame Nkrumah made. Those who succeeded Kwame Nkrumah should not make the same mistakes.
Okay.
So that we become a better people, we become a better nation.
Yeah. Okay.
We will work for the true interests and aspirations of our people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dave. Well, I've been seeing some messages coming in, attacking me. Well, I'm asking questions because others will want to memorialize him, right? And immortalize him. Others will also want to question him, even in his death. So we need to make sure that we balance the equation. I'm not here to favor anybody. I'm here just so we can ask the right question. Honorable Dave was splendid in responding to the questions that I was asking. We are only adding to the bank of knowledge that we have. So please don't feel offended. I'm asking the questions. All the MDC brothers and sisters who are watching me who are upset, some of the cadres are also watching. You are very angry that I'm asking these questions. But I need to ask, particularly because you've seen the letter issued by the daughter of a champion. And that is in from her perspective, that's a genuine concern that she's raising. So the fact that
Are we sure that letter is coming from her?
that's why allegedly. That's why I use the word allegedly.
So those things we should be sure.
So that's why I said allegedly.
Yeah, but
we
if you are putting this in the public domain, let's be very sure that is the author.
No, but I mean allegedly. So I'm asking. Yeah, but indeed a champion was killed. So that does not also take anything away from what was put forward, right? And a champion at the time when he was killed had children. So it is also possible that it's one of the children who had written that. But let me come to you, Sabo, and listen to you. Your fond memories of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. We're not here to bastardize him, no, not at all. We're here to memorialize him as a man who became the first president in the Fourth Republic, but also question his leadership style, not him as a person. Are you following me? So that's what we intend to do here on the morning show.
Kwame, thank you very much. As you can see, my dress code. If you observe me very well, every Friday, mostly, I prefer wearing white.
Yeah.
But today, you can see me in black, and I hardly wear black. This tells you how I actually share the grief of the Rawlingses. However, this morning, my brother have decided to, take the whole story in a different dimension. In fact, when I heard of the news on social media, I normally don't subscribe to social media this thing for formal things. So I had to go to Ghana Web, and then I saw the official this thing. Then I had to come to my Facebook wall, and I wrote on my Facebook that indeed he was an asset to humanity.
Absolutely.
I think you saw it on my wall. And even I had some of my own compatriots even attacking me, that for me to say that he was an asset to humanity, they disagree with me and the rest. And I had my reason for doing that. And you know our culture, the way we normally treat the dead. We hardly talk about the bad things of the dead. We always try to talk of. So it was based on this premise that I put that one on my Facebook wall. But if my brother is calling for the records this morning, I think we need not to also deny Ghanaians what actually happened. In fact, Kwame, though I was young, for me, my mother didn't tell me the story. I saw the story myself. I experienced it myself.
I was told the story.
By then I had just moved from Accra to Tamale, around the Cuba. I think I was about 9 months or 1 year in Tamale when the whole thing started. So I saw things myself. In fact, even my mother was a victim. Yes, my mother had to even leave Ghana to Nigeria because she was also one of those who selling clothes and the rest. Yes, so I knew the story very well. Yes, and I also had my own pain. Now, Kwame, let's start. Of course, he was born on 22nd June 1947 to a Ghanaian woman, I stand to be corrected, who is from the Kita area, and then a Scottish father. I'm told the mother used to work at the then Embassy Hotel. And now, what is the name of the hotel when they change it?
I don't know.
No, Embassy Hotel, the one in front of Accra Police, the one just adjacent.
Accra City Hotel?
No, Accra City, the next one. Accra City Hotel. Yeah, Ambassador Hotel, but they've now given it a new name.
Moving Peak Ambassador.
Moving Peak Hotel. How are you getting me? That's where I learned that mother was a caterer, and she used to work at that place. So he was always there. And then I think he also made an attempt to stage a coup, if you remember, somewhere, I think 15th May 1979, and did not succeed. That is where he was actually arrested and was put behind bars. And even there's this story of his fingernails were removed and what have you, which are not, these are not true. I have been able to have this with journalists who were there around that time. Even, I think later on, the one that will even said remove his fingernail, granted an interview. That is Major Suleimana, he's now a chief in the northern region, who said that wasn't true. So he was arrested and was put behind bars, and I think Alorga Katapore, Las Kopratinga, Boachijan, and the rest, they actually mustered courage and then went there and then broke the distance and then brought him out. Then from there, in fact, he was tried, and unfortunately, this same Achampong,
the martial court.
Yes, this same Achampong, he was supposed to be killed instantly, but Achampong said, no, they should give him a trial. He might have gotten some.
You are placing history on his head.
Oh, please.
Achampong had already been overthrown by a supreme military council led by.
I am telling you something. Oh. No, listen. You said so many things that I disagree with. I'll come to them. Just correcting you. Don't worry. Don't run faster than your legs can carry you.
Achampong was no longer on the scene.
But I haven't. So Achampong was not a Ghanaian. Achampong was no longer. You were saying that he was not a Ghanaian. No. So that means that when I was correcting, no, I'm coming. You see, you are exposing yourself. You don't do that to embarrass yourself this morning.
Oh. You are distorting history.
No. I'm not distorting. I just said, let me finish.
Don't distort history.
No. You see, this kind of your strategy of trying to put me off my distance. I'm
listening to you.
You have said so many things that are not correct. I'll come to that. Exercise patience, please. I don't think you are not giving respect to our viewers. I have respected you. In fact, I never even coughed. I never even said my history. But so many things we said, I didn't buy into them. I didn't agree with you.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Me, unfortunately, I'm not like Kwame. I was there. I saw things myself.
But you are distorting the
No. Please. Allow me to say this. Achampong, this same Achampong was the one who said no. They should allow the young man to be tried. He might have gotten something that will be good for all of them. And he was put behind bars, and Boachijan, Alorga Akatapure, Las Kopratinga, and the rest came and then removed him from the distance. And June 4th, 1979, they made a comeback this time round, and they succeeded. And this time round, in fact, around this time, Major Suleimana, they were all part of the uprising. I will tell you where Major Suleimana and Boachijan parted from Rawlings this thing. So when they staged the coup, just within the same 1979, I stand to be corrected. I think somewhere, I've forgotten of the month, the same 1979, that they had to return the country into constitutional rule and others. So an election had to be conducted. And Dr. Hilaliman, then the leader of the PNP party, and I think that time, who was the national chairman? I know Madugu to have been the northern regional chairman. Thank you. And that time to NPP. In fact, there was a problem with us. That time it was Popular Front Party. That was the name given to us. And there was a problem between Pauli and Victor Owusu. So Pauli had to form his own party and then name it Unity. So Unity Party, in fact, it divided our votes. If you had brought Popular Front Party's votes and that of Unity Party's vote, we would have won that particular election. But because of that problem, Hilaliman had a way, and then Hilaliman became the head of state of this country in 1980. And then Hilaliman ruled for barely, I think, 1 year or so. And then 1981, 81, Rawlings made a comeback. And then this time, again, he was able to overthrow Dr. Hilaliman and even tried some of his ministers and put Dr. Hilaliman under house arrest. And they investigated the man in and out, upside down. They could not find anything with the man. And you saw how the man died. I saw Dr. Hilaliman in 1996 election. He came to Nima post office. I almost wept. If you saw the kind of pickup our former head of state, former president, was driving. In fact, Kwame, even as I speak, I can feel it within myself. He came to Nimo Post Office. We were just sitting down. He came to check the police station there. He let the man. There was a time this kind of power outage. I think one Nigerian head of state visited him. His house. Former head of state. There was no light. There was no generator. The man was living in those things. And this man never committed any crime. Some of us actually enjoy that is short government. Free, what do you call it, bus ride to school, uniform, achimota sandals, and other things were given to us. We could drink milk from our house to school, drinking milk just like that. And the man. I'm telling you, there's this tractor. In fact, on the ground, we used to call the Lemon Wabga. He brought those tractors. Try to actually pave way for agricultural activities. Resurrecting Kwame Nkrumah's ideas and other things. This man came and overthrew him painfully, put him under house arrest. He let the man, in fact, asked all his ministers to use 404 those days. Nobody should use any car. 504, 504. Thank you very much. 504. Nobody should use any other car apart from those two cars. Very economical. Rawlings came and then overthrew this man. Some of his ministers were subjected to all forms of brutality, and yet they could not find anything against them. Kwame, let me fast track. Time is not there because I wouldn't want to even go the way he went too much. Kwame, sorry to say this, I'm a Muslim, and I think if I don't say it on the day of judgment, Allah will not forgive me. In fact, in actual fact, we Muslims, even today, me being a Muslim, born a Muslim, if I'm not praying and I die, Muslims will not pray for me. It's forbidden in Islam to pray for somebody who does not pray. You can only wish the person well, but you can never pray. Even me, today, Adam Sabu, when I die, they will ask my wife, when he was alive, was he praying? They will ask my neighbors, when he was alive, was he praying? If they say yes, then they'll pray for me. If they say no, they will just say the family should go and bury me. And that's the end of it. So we don't openly, so I don't think there will be anything like in the mosque, people will pray for him or something, but we only wish him well, like the way I've come to wish him well here on my own and the rest. That is how we go with the religion. But Kwame, let me leave this history and just come. Talking of the economy, this structural adjustment, this thing, in fact, I normally call it structural demolition program. What did it bring to Ghana? Kwame, look, those days, you see a shop, you lock the shop, and then they'll write on it in front of a control price. And they'll show the day that they'll sell the goods. And people come and queue. Control price. In fact, something that is, let's say, 10 cedis, they can sell it to you 20 pesos. Somebody's shop. And normally, there were informers who normally tell people where these shops are. And the rest.
My friend's mother suffered, especially.
Listen, I saw them myself. It's not like somebody told me.
Around the 31st December thing, my friend's mother really suffered.
Thank you very much.
My friend's mother hates them because of that.
Oh, yes, I'm telling you, to tell you. In fact, he said that some of us, we have the heart of, frankly speaking, before Rawlings died, I loved him. To Franco too. I have loved the man.
As a person.
You cannot take his principle. That's why you cannot take it away from him.
Absolutely.
He's not a hypocrite type.
No, he's not.
He doesn't pretend.
That is true.
If he says this, he means it.
That's true.
That's why I cannot take it from him.
That's
but
true.
Kwame, for that way, I didn't want to go this way.
It's about the leadership.
But yes,
yeah.
but
I told you,
I said the record straight.
You know,
yes,
for the person,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So look, Kwame, sometimes these informants will get it wrong, and they come and say this shop, there are these provisions inside. In fact, it was even just provisions of milk, sugar, other things, clothes, and other things. Sometimes they will go and say, and then they'll go and open the shop. After people have queue, they'll go and open the shop. Sometimes sponge, dawa, that kind of thing that is inside, and you buy it by force. Make mistake and leave the queue. Make mistake and leave the queue. And see what will happen to you. In fact, you yourself will become a control price. Oh, I'm telling you. No, Kwame. In fact, big viewers who are watching me, those who are old enough, they know what I'm talking about. Look, in Ghana, those days, la ilaha illallah. Well, you have done nothing, but when Pisgua passes by, you freeze.
When
Pisgua, that small car. In fact, the sound of it alone can make you fly out of your bones. Pisgua, when it passes by, you have done nothing, but you freeze for some time. You freeze for some time after it has disappeared before you start walking again.
when I won't blame you.
You don't know what happened in this country.
Honorable, that's one true.
Oh,
Honorable.
he can't say it because he cannot deny it. People are watching us.
I thought you said I shouldn't talk. I should let you.
Listen,
Okay, so
Kwame, quite apart from that, I think when Rawlings came, even that time there was no devaluation, and I think Rawlings overthrew Akufu. Akufu was the person that Rawlings overthrew. The cedi to the dollar was not up to 1 cedi difference. Even those days, that currency. And Rawlings introduced Jato. I think remember that money. Yes, Jato.
somebody is saying those people were not paying taxes those days. That's why they did that to their shops.
Kwame, that time, I don't want to lie here. I was too young to know, to even understand what taxation was.
Okay.
Those days. So I cannot best tell what actually happened. But I can remember when Rawlings introduced Jato, somewhere I think 1982, that way, that introduced Jato. And when Jato came, 1993, Jato became very black. The money just went down, boom. When, 1983, there were 2 things that hit us. There were 3 things. Apart from mismanagement of the economy, there was drought. Farming couldn't build very well. And then there was this, what do you call it, Nigerian repatriation of Ghanaians from Nigeria in ships. And other people, in fact, people were falling in water like this and dying when they were repatriating Ghanaians to Nigeria. And all these people had to come to Ghana. Already there was no food in Ghana. I think that is where my brother was narrating the story of when they are selling kenke, people queue. In fact, people even buy. Even he was saying they cook. No, they take down, cook one to their homes and buy and eat. In Accra here, you know the animal skin that we normally play on. People will soak it and put it in the ground for it to become wet, and they'll turn it to wole and eat. But I was wise enough. All those days I was in the north. It was somehow better in the north. And in fact, wheat. They used to bring wheat from Americans, brought us wheat and other things. And those things were being distributed. And that one too, before you get it, people die pepper just to get wheat.
Somebody said if we had not gone through those times, Ghana would not have been a stable country now.
My friend, don't tell me the story. When Kwame Nkrumah started, well, what did we go? What kind of suffering did we go through? What kind of pain did we go through? When even a champion that he came very painfully. In fact, a champion is one of the most successful head of states of this country. You know what a champion did? In fact, he domesticated our economy. Made it very domestic. What was the crime of a champion when Wallace killed him? Up to now, has he been able to tell us the crime of a champion? What crime at all did a champion commit? Afifa, he himself recently even said it. That he knew that Afifa did nothing wrong. But he was being misled by some people. Human life, somebody's life. You listen to somebody's story. And they destroy. In fact, he was picked from his farm. He was farming. They went to a farm and picked him at Mampong. That was how Afifa died. It's not like he was into military or he left everything and went back to his village farming. But they picked him. Just because that he has been a successful coup maker over the years. So the likelihood that he will make a comeback. That was his crime. So he should be eliminated. He was also gone. Kwame, let me just, time is not there. Let me come. He is talking of, what do you call it, companies and the rest that he created jobs. What job? In fact, those days, Before he came, I stand to be corrected. I think it was a little man time that was still there or what. When you complete Legon, this 504 and the rest. In fact, later you get job, they give you the when you come out, there's job for you, there's this car waiting for you. I think one of them, there was another one before 504. There was that short one, 304. It is there. They give you bungalow. Graduate, not masters, not PhD. Now that ourselves and our younger brothers, you comb the whole of Accra till your shoe become Chaliwati. If you are looking for a job. But those are the fresh from university straight to an office with your car and bungalow. That was how Ghana was going when this man took over. Look at where he left it. Look at the rate of unemployment. Kwame, if I don't know anything, I know, is it TUC or UTC? I normally mix the two of them. TUC, that departmental shops. UTC, thank you. And then I know Kingsway. I know what do you call it? Burger Meat Factory. Akumada, what they call it? Commander Sugar Factory. Then some canal this and that we were mentioned. So many of them were sold by Kosubetu and Rawlings. In conclusion, Kwame, why are you not happy with the story or what? You allowed me to say so many things. Why? I'm not teaching you. In conclusion, what I want to say is that, in fact, it's okay. Me today, let me, because the man, I have some good side for him. Finally, when I started getting matured in policies and the rest, I realized that if you look at the man as an individual, he actually meant well. But the people who surrounded him, who knew what was supposed to be done for the right thing to be done, were the people who were actually putting us in the ditch that we found ourselves. And these people are still around.
Yeah, I'm listening.
In fact, the NDC party, in fact, when it was PNDC, Rawlings was somehow far better than when it became NDC.
All right.
NDC destroyed Rawlings and then turned him into a demon.
Okay, thank you.
I'm coming, please.
Thank you. No,
if you remember, in this country, the very people to have called him a backing dog
was the NDC.
Thank
you very much, Sabo.
Thank you, Sabo.
Your time, because I've given you.
Look at the time you gave my brother.
The same amount of time.
No. I've not even reached half of what he.
No.
Kwame, check the time. The viewers are listening to us. Oh, Kwame, listen. Okay, let me just conclude here. If you're asking me to conclude, I'll conclude. But I think we'll find another time to come and sit here and talk about this man.
Absolutely.
In conclusion, what I want to say is that when we talk of job lost in this country, when we talk of deterioration of the economy in this country, because when Rawlings was handing over to President Kufuor in 2000, the debt to GDP ratio was 79%. Are you getting me?
Look for it for me.
The debt to GDP ratio was 79%. HIPIC bound country. They even made an attempt on 2 occasions to be given, to be cleared of their debts and be given HIPIC status. But because of the kind of economic policies that were put in place, it was not feasible. In fact, they didn't merit it until President Kufuor came and then put a very, you remember the popular Price Waterhouse, this pay policy that was brought up and the rest. And before we were even given HIPIC status and were clear of our debts. And Kwame, when President Kufuor was leaving, what was the debt to GDP ratio again? When President Kufuor was leaving.
All right, so it was
not even up to 29%.
Thank you very much. I think I've given
when President John Dramani Mahama handed to Nana, what was it? And even today, they have still found energy and then this thing to be making noise about debt to GDP ratio. Kwame, we'll find another time. In fact, now we are in the morning this thing and then we are mourning our debt. When we bury him, we'll come and talk about politics here.
Thank you very much. Obviously, Honorable Zene is not happy. For the first time.
About what?
He's been very quiet.
No, I didn't want to intervene. So that you said that I'm interjecting.
Let me come to this one, and then I will give you 1 minute.
I didn't want to.
But there's another very important story here that we have to deal with before we leave. Today, tell the guys that I want to enjoy my time. They didn't start early. When we were ready, they were not ready. So they should give me my 30 minutes more. Sir, JJ Data 73. If listening to AB of Zane, if listening to Sabo, what do you have to say, sir?
Kwame, at a point, when you think you are done with the chaos in 2020, at a point, when we thought we were done with the chaos in 2020, then all of a sudden, there comes a more and worsened surprise. Chairman Papa J, I used to call him Papa J. May his soul rest in peace. Kwame, Papa J, as we all call him, or as I used to call him, is a man who has brought Ghana, or Ghana's democracy, to where we found it now. And I think that we should be here to commend him for the kind of democracy that we are enjoying today, because he, as a matter of fact, started it, and we are all enjoying the kind of democracy that we are enjoying today. And so I don't think that it is necessary for me to sit here and condemn him in a way that people or some people are talking about, because the man himself is a pillar when you come to Ghanaian politics. Is a pillar when you come to democracy in Ghana, and in fact democracy across the whole continent. Everywhere you go, people are talking about Papa J. And I personally, I love this man because I remember in 2015 when we came into office. When I say when we came into office, when I became the national organizer then in 2015, myself, my former national chairman, and all the executives, we went to his house or to his office to greet him. And we got there, waited for about 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden he drove in his own car and came. When he came, the advice he gave us was that, look, you are all young men. The only old man amongst you is your flag bearer. But then it was Dr. Nasigiri Mahama. So what you guys need to do is to make sure you protect him. Make sure you campaign for him so that at the end of the day, you can always, or you will always come and test power. I remember his words. And he said, look, when you go out there and you don't succeed, keep trying. A time will come, Ghanaians will be fed up with NDC and MPP, and they will vote for you. And that is what is happening now. Ghanaians are fed up with NDC and MPP everywhere you go. And so the man didn't miss his words, and his words are really coming to pass. And so for me, I think that we should mourn this man, mourn him well, because he has brought Ghana's democracy to where it is now. And so in every human being there is a but I will say that Papa J's bat is not something that we need to condemn, because most of his acts, most of what he did has brought Ghana to where we are now. I remember, or I can say, my brother Sabo here was talking about Liman's regime. Yes, we all felt the pain because he was given the opportunity to rule for just 27 months. And we all saw what he did. Like he was saying, he was taking free milk, free meat, free school buses when you are going to school. And so I think that those are some of the things that we need to look at as a nation. How can we get back to all those things rather than to be here and to be condemning and to, you know, sometimes I don't want to bring politics into some of these issues, but you end up bringing politics because whatever we do, there's politics in it. And so, Papa J, rest well. Kwame, like I said, I don't want to.
What did they say?
I don't want to be talking too much this morning. The president himself says he has put on hold his campaign. Some of us have also decided that look, we'll come and then mourn with the family.
All right.
And then we see what God have for us.
All right. Thank you.
In the coming days.
Yes, come on, listen.
Some PPA boss fights Shadi Mashodi report. Or you think we should end on former president? PPA boss fights Shadi Mashodi work. You know what James didn't watch again?
Yes.
What is Shodi about?
He said the Shadi
report is Shodi.
So, or you want to respond to some of the things that
Kwame wants to do politics this one.
No, I don't want to do politics this morning.
No, Kwame.
You know, because I feel like the death of the former president is such an important topic for us to discuss to discuss any other issue. That's why
you give more time to you.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Kwame, who is describing the child report as Shodi?
The one who was fingered in that report.
And so who are they sacking in the evening is greeting good night?
They said my time is up. Okay, the Honorable, let's end with DJ Rawlings and we wrap up.
No, I started it.
He started it. You want to run away.
I mean, this man...
my producers are home, man.
This man, yeah, you understand that you want to talk about it. When they mention, I mean to say, they mention fraud. He's running away. He says he doesn't want to talk about it. Once there's fraud, you see that he's running away. He said that topic.
You're inviting the man.
Where they were selling contracts like toffee. Contracts. This man. Oh, you remember?
Isn't the one who created his own company?
That's the same man.
Oh! So you are holding the thief by the boss, and he says he's not the one.
This is the Manasseh something. Is it the Oh, this guy. Okay.
You see, and this is coming, and the government.
I see.
That claims it is fighting corruption. You have evidence.
It's not the same government who
Kwame.
It's not the same government who sacked.
Who sack who? When somebody is engaged in corruption, you sack the person. And that's fighting corruption. I'm just asking you that when somebody is engaged in corruption and you agree that it's corruption, the answer is sacking him.
Who sacked him?
And I'm saying that when somebody is allegedly involved in corruption, the answer is to sack the person.
No, don't talk.
That's Nana Akufo-Addo's way of fighting corruption. That somebody is involved in corruption, sack him, finish. That's fighting corruption. God of mercy. No wonder that's where we are. We are where we are now. Kwame. It is this same president who told us that he will use the NAS principle and other investigative work people have done to give you evidence. Look at the Kwame, this very man. Look at the evidence that was given. Today you even find out you believe in the evidence to the fact that you can even sack the man. And so if somebody is involved in acts of corruption, do you sack him?
No.
Do you simply sack him?
No.
What do you do? If you are an avowed crusader of corruption, what do you do?
Yeah.
Has the government
to hold him before
has this government done? Has he hold one person? Kwame, ever since Kwame, one person, and Nana Akufo-Addo, one person has he hold one person before any investigating body. Even when investigating body have investigated, he clears them. He's the chief clearing agent.
Oh yes.
The chief clearing agent of corrupt acts. Nana Akufo-Addo.
You are inviting me.
No, I'm not inviting. No, let him talk. Kwame, let him come inside.
What they are saying.
Let's look at
Kwame, let me give you this one.
Give me 1 minute to come. People are giving me pressure. I think my time is up. Give me 1 minute. Honorable, thank you.
Kwame, I love you.
Honorable, I love you.
Kwame, I'm not certain you
I love you.
On a slippery way.
I'm very surprised that you have asked me to discuss this. I'm starting and you want to end it.
This man that he's talking about.
I'm the one talking. Give me a love.
This
man, you know I love you.
You know I love you. So you talk about this again.
Talking now.
No. Kwame. You are gagging me.
This man is asked by the president himself.
He has been sacked.
Do you know what's going to happen? Hold on. Let me do this. Monday. If you are in Accra on Monday.
I can't guarantee.
You've suspended your.
I'm going to. Yeah, but I'm sure that even though
if I let him be in Accra Monday, I'll be in Accra Monday. If you are calling for a debate on this issue,
7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
That's why I'm saying that. Frankly, I can't guarantee that I'll be here.
It's right now.
If anything, no, I want to do my constituency, even as we speak now. But for the distance, I would have been in my constituency by now.
Oh, Kwame is okay.
So obviously,
but you know your constituents would love to listen to you on this matter on Monday.
Yes, sure. But I'm saying that my constituents will appreciate my presence.
It will be part of the campaign.
They want it. Better. Look, there are a number of youth groups and others I'm supposed to
be now. Very grateful. If
I want to have a debate on this.
Because
actually, I'm going to organize. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to organize a forum, right?
What's the time now?
At the forecourt of Pan-African Television, and I'm going to have you and any other person who any other person who wants me on the issue of just corruption and how it is going to impact.
I can guarantee you that this man will run away. Kwame, God of mercy. Don't go there. You will run away. You will come on there.
That's yes. I'll be.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Honorable, let me apologize and also say thank you for your time. Sabo, let me apologize and also say thank you. My time. I know. Because I saw a face here. If I don't close it, so I'm dead. That's one. I'm telling you, I've been intimidated. It's like the 1981 I'll see you guys on Monday. Unfortunately, no, actually, let me. I've never known you to be a coward. You know, even if you're not a coward, you cannot find it. Everybody has a master. let me just read 2 messages, and then I will go because otherwise I will read many messages. Good morning to you, Kwame. I think the MPP man is not telling the truth about how a Afrifa got killed. Why are you deleting your messages? The man told the military hierarchy to kill him, otherwise he was going to kill them. That got Rawlings infuriated, and he added him to a champion and others. From Johnny in Adenta. This one also says, please, Mr. Hope, I hope the MPP man is talking something valuable out of the political history, taking something valuable out of the political history. He should go back and read his history books again. The letter General FIFA wrote to Chairman and Champion described former President Rawlings as dangerous, and he has been caught. He should be killed at once before it's too late. I think I also came across that letter some time ago. Good morning to you, Kwame. It is bad to be mentioning the bad deeds of the dead. It's because the family behind stigmatization, that is the view of Islam. No one is perfect. Indeed, it is undeniable fact that the late President J.J. Rawlings showed an exemplary leadership. He came to remove Ghana from darkness and retrogression into the light of progression. May he so rest in peace. Haj Pfizer from Kaswa sent in this one. Somebody will also disagree with you, my brother. Everybody has his opinion to share. Good morning to you. I feel very sad this morning listening to the submissions of issues that should have found a different platform. The mighty name Rawlings of Ghana, Africa, and the world at large is today gone. Today, let us all mourn him, learn from some of the good lessons, let everyone go and move forward the country of Ghana. Kwame from Tabora sent in this one. But it is also very important to acknowledge some of the negatives so we can learn to work on them and make them better. I'm Wallace from Asinfo Kwame. Some people are tagging the sudden death of our great leader to Mahama. I saw that video and I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life by Hajia Fati or somebody, whatever she calls herself. Very, 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 very disheartening. Have you seen that video? Very appalling, eh? I don't know why MPP is entertaining that woman. Please come. Everybody knows Rawlings has a story about him, whether good or bad. In fact, others can or cannot forgive him for whatever he has done. So everybody's lives matter, but only God can judge us. Rawlings' deeds will be judged by God, but not humanity. Well, I agree with you. Sola from Savannah region. I agree with you. On this one, I agree with you. A great tree has fallen. If money could save him, I don't think he would have died. This means that we live by the grace of God. It takes the grace of God for us to stay alive. JJ, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Father of the nation, who people call JJ, may the Lord protect you. Thank you, sir, for your message. Kwame, I will beg you to stop Sabu from narrating what he doesn't know. For him, he places MPP politics everywhere. Akwesi from Sunyani sent in this one. Now, this one also says, I'm almost 62 years and a student then, 1979. Most what my Muslim brother is saying are not true. The one in black. Okay. MPP are fond of spreading lies. President Kufuor's economic performance during his year was poor, characterized by looting and sharing. Strangely, the current MPP government are worse and really on a state plunder. But MPP are using their mouths to do their usual propaganda that they are performing. Wakoku from La Paz sent in this one. Hello, Kwame and your panelists. Kwame, we in the northern region, we cannot forget about JJ. He's our father because of him, we had a Kosomo, Light and Goose Rose. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Moment in Tamale sent in this very beautiful message. Sabo, you are really creating your own story, exaggerating same. I wish you had actually experienced Rawlings' revolution. Your life would have been revolutionized. Let us appreciate this great man. Thank you very much for your message. It was Buzia who destroyed everything that Nkrumah made. Ask the MPP man if he was in SP Adamu from Bibiani. The message is not quite clear, sir. Somebody, you insult and demonize all that Rawlings stood for, yet you claim you love him. Politics is indeed a dangerous game. Joe Jackson sent in this one. Hi, Kwame, I'm really disappointed in your show today. Instead of showing some of the achievements, you in particular is rather interested in painting him black. Whatever bad thing he did is part of the reason why Ghanaians love him. He isn't perfect. To my brother Sabo, ask him, is that what Islam teaches? Other channels are doing what you are not doing. Well, that's why I'm not other channels. Good morning to you, Kwame. Keo, tell Sabo not to change our political history. The power will join the PMP in the third Republican government. From King Henry, sent in this one. Control price came as a result of shops owners smuggling goods into the country and selling them at high prices to the ordinary Ghanaian. JJ was for the people and not for a few individuals. Mash sends this one in from Tamale. Now this one also says, crediting JJ Rawlings, he was a man of peace, integrity and development. Today, what's happening about prices of goods like cement? In fact, people are killing the good people of Ghana through prices of commodities, and price control should be infused. Thank you. You say rest in peace, Papa J. Mr. Kwame, if the biblical Paul, the Jewish army general who was cruelly and brutally against the Christians of Israel, Ali Dawubuya, the message is too long. From Leah in Kumasi, the greatest damage to Ghana by a champion was the destruction of the moral fabric of Ghanaians. Sabo, have we forgotten of the Kalabule? Hi, Kwame. My name is Christian Adabra. Some of us know very well what led to the collapse of state-owned companies. Do not blame Papa J. Blame the citizenry who worked in these companies. The people who stole from the factories, I can attest to what happened in those days. Asuchari Sugar Factory. Okay. People get history. Oh. Hey, media, I be young boy crowd. Hi guys, watching from Upper East. I would like to tell Mr. Adams that all he's saying may be true, but Ghana being a model in Africa is due to JJ. We eat omelette because eggs have been broken. I am Sedu. Kwame, I love your program, but disappointed today. You've disappointed me today, Castro. If I have, I apologize. Good morning, Kwame and the panelists. A big tree has fallen and Ghana has lost a great man that we will not see anymore. Kwame, if he has collapsed many jobs, he has built more. If not for nothing at all, he built UDS for us. Good morning to you, Kwame. Kindly tell Sabo that he should not distort history and follow the MPP's traditions. Okay. This one also says, you forever be in our hearts. Rest well, Daddy. From Salina to the messages are a lot. Over 1,500 messages. I'm not sure I can read all of them. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you, Honorable Lady Fuseni. Thank you, Sabo. Honorable, one-on-one. Yeah. Vim.
You run away.
Okay. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. My name is Kwame Owusu. So let me extend a heartfelt condolence to the family of the late former President Jerry John Rawlings. May your soul find peace. May your soul find space in the bosom of the Lord. And all that we discussed here was not to demonize him. We have sought to immortalize him at the end of the day, and that is the most important thing. Sometimes it's important to also look at the issues from different perspectives. I have never for a second disrespected former president and the late president. If for nothing at all, I love his charisma, and something that I've always been working on, to have that charisma, to be able to speak my mind and speak truth to whatever authority that there exists. I don't think we can take that away from him. And I've credited him a lot on several fronts, and I will continue to do that. May his soul find peace, may his soul find rest, And as and when the president of the land, Akufo-Addo, brings out the roadmap for the funeral arrangements, we'll share them with you, the viewers. So apologies to all those who feel embittered about our conversation this morning. It is part of it. We need to also look at it from other perspectives. I thank you very kindly for your time today. I'll see you guys on Monday. Do have a very pleasant weekend. Salute. Alhamdulillah.
Welcome to Ridge Royal Hotel. In the recent light of pandemic, we are taking utmost care to ensure the safety of our guests. We have to change with the times, and the hotel industry is used to change.